over 2 billion siphoned off through procurement fraud, shell companies, fake quotes, syndicates embedded in the system. Even the hospital CEO failed to spot the rot in breach of the PFMA's segregation and oversight mandates. What am I talking about? You guessed it, Tembisa Hospital. Welcome back, Mzansi, to another episode of Risk Roots. I'm your host, Thabasume Perumal, and we talk about risk in 5 minutes or so in a way that's relatable and actionable. Today we're talking about segregation of duties. This was designed in a time of paper ledgers and manual checks. So today we're asking, is this classic control still relevant, or is it time for an upgrade? Let's level set. Segregation of duties, or SOD, if you want to sound fancy at parties, is the idea that no single person should control an entire transaction from start to finish. The classic example: one person orders supplies, another person receives them, and the third person approves the payment. This way, if someone wants to commit fraud, they need to recruit accomplices. And fraudsters, like most of us, hate group projects. This brings in the dual control principle. Think nuclear launch codes in those Cold War movies where two people have to run their keys simultaneously. Nobody trusts just one person with a big red button. The textbook says you need to separate authorization, that's approving the thing, custody, handling the thing, and recording, which is documenting the thing. Easy in theory, nightmare in practice, especially in 2025. Here's why everyone's struggling with this. Startups and small businesses are running with 5-people finance teams, doing work that they need 15 people for. You literally don't have 3 separate people to split duties between. According to the auto checklist, I need someone who doesn't process payroll to review payroll. I am the payroll department. Do I clone myself? Do I hire an intern just to click approve on things they don't understand? Everyone's got super user access to something. Your IT admin can probably access financial systems. Your CFO definitely has override capabilities. Your CEO may have God mode on everything, because what if there's an emergency? And in cloud systems, half the time your vendor support team has access to your data. So much for segregation. If your system automatically reconciles transactions, does that count as a second person? If AI reviews invoices for anomalies, is that detective control strong enough to compensate? Nobody knows. The guidance was written when automation meant Excel macros. Okay, so what do we actually do about this? Because I'm not suggesting we abandon control, I'm suggesting we get creative. If you can't separate duties, beef up your detective controls. Think detailed transaction logs that get reviewed by someone independent. Automated exception reports that flag unusual patterns. Regular surprise audits or data analytics. Manager reviews that actually mean something, not just rubber stamps. Do monthly surprise deep dives into transactions. Nobody knows which months they'll get checked. Keep people honest. Modern systems can enforce segregation digitally. Dual approval workflows built into software, role-based access roles that genuinely restrict functions, blockchain or immutable audit trails for sensitive transactions, AI monitoring for unusual patterns of access. The key is testing these controls. Don't just assume the system is separating duties. Verify it. I've seen too many dual approval workflows where both approvers share a login. Not everything needs to be Fort Knox level though. Ask yourself, what is the financial impact if this goes wrong? How easy is it to detect after the fact? The question is not, do we have perfect segregation of duties? The question is, do we know where the gaps are and have we mitigated them appropriately? So yes, segregation of duties is still relevant in 2025, but it looks much more different than it did in 1995. The principle matters. The execution needs to evolve. That's it for this week's Risk Roots. If you've got SOD war stories or creative solutions, drop them in the comments. And if you're the CEO who said, "It's fine, we don't need different levels," no judgment, we've all been there.